Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the case of Mickey Steins begins to take shape as his lawyers argue for an acquittal. And a rescue team is advocating for safe climbing practices after someone took a hard fall during the weekend.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning and thanks for joining us. I'm Madison Carmouche. We are at 6:30 this Tuesday morning and today is November 26th. Let's check in with meteorologist Megan Dusmall for a look at your forecast this morning. Now Megan, it was a little rainy when we stepped out this morning, but hopefully for everyone else that is going to clear up.
That is true. We're having the rain from this morning and last night push on through our area, and by the time you're heading out the door, you shouldn't expect to run into any pockets. A sprinkler or two isn't out of the question throughout the day, but no heavy rain is expected. Now let's look at those temperatures for this morning. It's a warmer start to the morning, and something that we normally don't see. Our eastern side is warmer than our western side. 51 degrees in Grundy, 52 in Jonesville, and 48 in Clintwood. And as you're traveling towards Monticello in Somerset, 46 degrees. So definitely a change from what we normally see. And those forecast highs are no exception. We have higher temperatures as we're traveling more towards the east. 55 is your high for Jonesville, Grundy, Clintwood, and Logan. And as you're traveling towards Somerset and Monticello, 50 degrees. Not much of a change from the current temperatures either. Satellite and radar, though, does show that rain that we saw this morning, but it's pushing on through. And a sprinkler, too, you can see around Norton this morning, but that'll continue to push on through and we'll stay clear for the rest of the day. But for your next 12 hours, there you can see mostly dry throughout the entire day and mostly sunny by the time that 3 p.m. rolls around. Not too bad of a day, and I'll have your bus stop forecast coming up. Madison.
All right, Megan, thank you. A former Eastern Kentucky sheriff accused of killing a judge was back in the same courthouse the crime occurred. Sean Mickey Steins was sheriff in Letcher County when state police say he shot and killed Judge Kevin Mullins in Mullins's chamber. Steins retired at his post after his arrest. Steins answered to the charges while attorneys are in the process of sharing evidence and planning their next moves in the high-profile case that's attracted national attention. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has the details on what took place in the courtroom in Whitesburg.
A former sheriff in handcuffs, his family watching from the front row, and moments later after his not guilty plea, the judge said that bond would not be considered. But his attorney said they will seek an adversarial bond hearing.
You know, we still have this little thing called presumption of innocence, and it doesn't matter what the evidence that you've already seen is out there, he still carries that presumption.
Bartley says they have a solid defense, part of which is based on a moment of extreme emotional disturbance.
We do not concede that this thing is a manslaughter case. We do believe that we will put on a full defense that we will urge for an acquittal.
Bartley also says they do believe they can seat a jury in Letcher County, citing the assassination case of Sheriff Sam Catron in Pulaski County.
And at the time, that was probably one of the most high-profile cases that area had seen.
Still a lot of questions over motive, but Bartley did say there could be a link to Steins being named in a federal lawsuit involving a deputy.
I think that the timing of what occurred is certainly something that is going to be a crucial point in this case.
Prosecutor says it's too early to talk about motives or if he will seek the death penalty.
After all the evidence has been collected, thoroughly gone through, and a conversation with the family has been had and get their thoughts on the process.
No court date or time for an adversarial bond hearing has been set. In Letcher County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
The judge appointed for the arraignment was only a special judge for this appearance, and another judge will be named for the remainder of the legal process. In Pulaski County, there was an explosion inside of a home after a woman reportedly lit a cigarette. Crews with the Parkers Mill Fire Department were called to a home in the Lake Ridge Road community yesterday after a neighbor heard an explosion and screamed for help. When crews arrived, they found a woman with severe burns. The woman was airlifted to the Louisville Burn Center. Crews later put out a fire they found in the utility closet of the garage of the home. A Pike County man is facing charges after he was heading to a VA clinic in Prestonsburg and reportedly threatened to shoot people there. The incident happened on Friday. Floyd County Sheriff's deputies say Roberts Maynard of Belfry was heading north on US 23 in the Herald area after performing a traffic stop. Police found a handgun on Maynard. After kicking a deputy in the stomach, Maynard was charged with a slew of charges, including assault. We are learning new details about the suspect in a sexual assault case on the campus of the University of Kentucky. A few weeks ago, 21-year-old Saif Kafaji was arrested for the crime, being charged with sexual abuse and indecent exposure. The assault originally happened overnight on November 10th at the intersection of Rose and Euclid Avenue. Police say they were able to identify the suspect on security cameras.
Somebody else came forward and said, hey, that looks like the individual that may have exposed themselves when I came home from a bar.
Incidents with the suspect are believed to expand beyond the University of Kentucky's campus down to Richmond. An EKU police citation shows 10 female students reported Al-Kafaji for harassment and stalking claims. A headstone at a temple in Lexington has been returned weeks after it was stolen. Someone stole an Olika Shriner's headstone last month. It was Bluegrass Crime Stoppers' Crime of the Week. When we first talked to the Shriners, they said they didn't want to press charges. They just wanted that piece of history back. Saturday morning, it was dropped back off at the temple.
And I said, you're kidding me. No, it's here. It was left on the front porch. We're back to normal. We're whole. So we're very thankful. Thank you to the person that returned it. We really, really appreciate it, more than you know.
The Shriners say they are now looking to figure out a way to anchor the headstone in place. The Wolfe County Search and Rescue team had a busy weekend. The team conducted 2 complex rescues, with one of them involving someone who was seriously injured. Alyssa Williams talked with team members to learn more about these situations and how we can help keep ourselves safe when we hit any trails this season.
Sunday marked an intense day for the Wolfe County Search and Rescue team. The team's chief, John Mays, says they usually respond to more hiking rescues, but Sunday's rescue involved a rock climber from Massachusetts.
He was maybe 10 feet or so above his last piece of protective equipment, and he took a fall, which resulted in him falling about 20 feet. He impacted a tree, went inverted, and then came in and hit the rock face that he was climbing on. So he suffered some fairly severe injuries from that.
The team got the call that afternoon and sprung into action. May says the man was airlifted to UK. He adds he was not wearing a helmet, but he advises all climbers to wear one.
A lot of rock climbers don't wear helmets. And I understand, it's, it can limit your visibility a little bit, and wearing a helmet all day kind of makes your neck tired and different things. But, a helmet would have made a significant difference in the individual that we rescued yesterday.
May says the previous day they had to conduct another rescue, but this time for 2 lost hikers who wandered from their trail. He says he recommends using a navigational app to lay down your tracks so you can backtrack if you get lost.
And this time of year with the leaves that have fallen, when you get on some of those user-defined trails, they get a little more challenging to stay on the right path. And then it started to get dark on them, and they absolutely made the right decision, in calling when they did, instead of trying to navigate down a very high cliff, as darkness was falling.
In Wolfe County, Alyssa Williams, WKYT.
May says utilizing their program Sardapo can help crews get to lost or injured people faster. He says the program can send a text or link to someone's phone that can help crews ping their location. A food giveaway yesterday brought God's Pantry Food Bank and Appalachian Regional Healthcare to Big Sandy Community and Technical College in Prestonsburg. The outreach provided 150 food boxes to families with turkey, vegetables, eggs, butter, and the rest of the groceries needed for a whole family feast. Organizers say the Sharing Thanksgiving program gives back to some of the most in need families. And while they are proud of its reach, they hope to see it expand in the years to come.
tells you a lot. And to be able to say, even though you're proud to serve 150 families, it also hurts your heart because you want to be able to say, I can serve 15,000 families. But we'll take what we can get and we'll help those we can.
Workers from the area food pantries that work with God's Pantry were also on site, saying they wanted to be a part of helping the families have a Thanksgiving to remember. Kentucky donors top Tennessee donors in this year's annual Big Blue Crush event. More than 2,450 Kentucky fans donated blood compared to Tennessee, which saw a little more than 2,050 donors. The exact number for Kentucky donors was 2,453, which is the highest number the event has seen from either side since 2019. $91,000 in scholarships has been awarded to Southeast Kentucky Community Technical College to support students pursuing careers in healthcare. $70,000 will be for the nursing program. $21,000 will be for the physical therapist assistant program. The funding was awarded by the Kentucky Council on Post-Secondary Education's Healthcare Workforce Investment Fund.
Forecast highs for today are quite warm still. We're looking in the 50s, especially compared to how we're going to end up shaping up this week with those temperatures dropping significantly. These temperatures aren't too bad, and we are in luck as we're going to stay dry for most of the day. We're just watching as the remainder of the rain is pushing out through the area, and after this we'll be dry and continue to stay dry until we're heading into your Wednesday. And you can see that on Future View. There is those drier weathers, but by the time Wednesday afternoon rolls around, that's when we're going to see the rain chances pick back up again, leading to a rainy Wednesday and Thanksgiving. But if you're heading to the bus stop this morning, 47 degrees will be the temperature as you're heading on to school with some cloudy skies, but the sun will start to peek through by the time lunch is around 49 degrees. And by the time you're heading home, you can see the high temperature of the day around 51 degrees with more sun. Stay with us. More Mountain News is on the way.